The storm on Kepler-4 was not just weather. It was a living wall of sound and ice that clawed at the frozen plains like something hunting. Wind screamed across the white wasteland, lifting sheets of snow into the air, burying tracks as soon as they were made. Far beyond the storm, the Zelthari colony stood under its crystal domes, glowing faint blue beneath the pale light of their distant star. Inside those domes, everything was warm, calm, controlled. Thousands of Zelthari moved through their perfectly ordered corridors with quiet precision. Their long, graceful limbs glided across polished floors. Their large silver eyes stayed focused on data screens, schedules, calculations, systems that had not changed for generations. Nothing was out of place. Nothing was allowed to be. Outside, something was dying. Frozen staggered across the open snowfield, her breath tearing painfully through her lungs. Fever burned beneath her violet, gray skin, turning it pale and blotched. Ice had crusted over her lashes, and every step sent a spike of agony through her body. She had only been trying to reach the medical wing. She had been so close. Now her legs failed her. Frozen collapsed into the snow just meters from the colony's transparent wall. The impact threw up a soft cloud of frost as her body carved a shallow crater into the white ground. She did not scream. Zelthari were not raised to scream. Through the crystal wall, she could see them, her people, walking past. Some slowed. Some turned their heads. Their faces remained neutral, their eyes cold and unreadable. The protocol was clear. Anyone who fell beyond the barrier during an active storm was to be left where they were until conditions improved. Rescue attempts risked more lives. The needs of the many outweighed the needs of the one. Frozen understood. This was logical. This was correct. Her eyes slowly drifted closed as the wind buried her shoulders in snow. She prepared to die. Across the frozen ridge, a human saw her fall. Finch had been standing in the observation tower of his research outpost, recording atmospheric data and cultural activity for Earth. He had lived among the Zelthari for 6 months. He knew their systems, their rules, their emotional detachment. He respected their efficiency, but it had always disturbed him. Through his binoculars, he saw the small figure collapse near the colony wall. He saw the Zelthari notice, and he saw them deliberately look away. His jaw clenched. "Protocols be damned," he muttered. His AI assistant activated immediately. "Finch, the storm is intensifying. Wind velocity is increasing. Temperature is dropping to -60°C. Exposure beyond 2 minutes. I don't care." Finch snapped, already pulling on his thermal suit. "Someone's dying. Your interference could be considered a violation of cultural autonomy." Finch sealed his helmet. "Then they can file a complaint. I'm human. We don't leave people to die." He stepped into the storm. The wind hit him like a moving wall of concrete. His boots slid. Snow blasted against his visor. Visibility dropped to almost nothing. But he kept walking, one step, then another inside the domes. Several Zelthari gathered near the wall, watching the lone human figure struggle across the plain. They recorded his movement. They analyzed his inefficiency. They found his behavior fascinating, illogical, but fascinating. Frozen was barely conscious when warmth touched her shoulder. Strong arms lifted her gently from the snow. She tried to focus her blurred vision. She saw a face unlike any she had ever seen before. Rounded, small eyes, skin the color of rich earth. A human. "I've got you," Finch said softly, even though he knew she could not understand him. "You're going to be okay." The return journey was torture. His muscles screamed. His legs shook. His suit heaters strained under the brutal cold. Arya warned him about oxygen loss, fatigue, and core temperature failure. He ignored every warning. Frozen drifted in and out of consciousness, but each time she opened her eyes, the human was still there, still walking, still holding her, still refusing to give up. It shattered everything she had been taught about survival. He was suffering. She could see it. And yet, he did not let her go. When Finch finally reached the colony medical entrance, he was barely standing. He slammed his fist against the door. After a long pause, it opened. Medical personnel stared at him in stunned silence. "Help her," Finch gasped, lowering Frozen onto a treatment platform. "She needs help now." They moved instantly, scanning her vitals and activating warming fields. Only when Finch saw machines begin to stabilize her breathing did he allow himself to lean against the wall, shaking. An elder Zelthari approached slowly. "Human Finch," she said. "Your actions were illogical. The probability of success was less than 40%. Finch removed his helmet, his face pale, his eyes burning with exhaustion. "Maybe that's the difference between us," he said quietly. "We don't calculate if someone deserves to live. We just save them." The elder said nothing. Frozen awoke hours later. Her fever was gone, her breathing steady. She turned her head and found the human watching her from across the room. Their eyes met. She raised one weak hand in silent thanks. He smiled. Outside, the storm still raged. But inside the colony, something had changed. Zelthari, who had witnessed the rescue, began questioning their protocols, their calculations, their belief that logic alone was enough to build a civilization. And on Kepler 4, for the first time in generations, compassion entered the data tables, not because it was efficient, but because a human had proven that sometimes doing what is right matters more than what is logical.